We have examples of where students speak or where the teachers let the students speak, which I think will be part of the title as well. Not just in terms of the performance of the course, but also the content of the course. So without further ado, I give the floor to Massimiliano, or as we call him, Mamo.
So my name is Mamo Tosti. I'm an associate professor at the School of Technology and Health, and I'm one of these 20 plus educational developers that Per was talking about in the beginning. And I'll try to tell you about my ideas of how the student could be involved in the LQ process. I expect not that everybody is familiar with the LQ process, so you will see it very shortly in the beginning. And since I'm a physicist, I also have to tell you that these are by no means any results or real study. These are my thoughts about how to do this. Okay, I have nothing real. So the LQ process, you might have heard about it. So thanks to mainly Don Borlund, a new LQ, a new survey for evaluating courses at KTH has been put into place, and after that, based on the results of that survey, you can have meetings, course analysis meetings that are across different courses, where the main focus is on the exchange of experience in teaching among colleagues, among teachers. And then after that, which is this part, you can have enhancement, competence enhancement activities like participating in seminars or workshops. And then you eventually will try to develop your course based on this exchange and or your new competence. So the focus here is the exchange among teachers, which is very much appreciated because most people come out of these meetings with new energy because they have been supported by their colleagues in analyzing the result of the course evaluation, which is not always very energizing. But if you compare to what we have used, at least most of us, I think, earlier, is that you make your own survey, or you use one that your institution provides you, and then you have a meeting with some student representatives, and you discuss how should we go forward with this, and then you do your own course development on your own for the most. So one thing that is what big difference here is that the course analysis meeting here is with students, okay? But just two students usually, or sometimes they are able to convey the ideas of the entire class, but most of the time they're actually representing themselves. It's very difficult to not do, actually. There are some motivations for making a change in this LQ, in my opinion. I like somehow to involve the students in the analysis, but I don't want to compromise the exchange among teachers, which is very well working. I think it would be easy. It would be easier to train and educate students in using these surveys in a more efficient way if they are participating in the analysis. Otherwise, they just fill in these forms and they never know what comes out of that, right? And that will in turn increase the student participation in this course evaluation, which is sometimes quite low, down to 30%, sometimes even less. So the simple idea of how to do that is to put in another non-mandatory, so you can choose whether you want to do it or not, but a student analysis meeting. And this student analysis meeting, my suggestion is to organize that as a meeting with only students. So there are no teachers in the room. So you need a student that serves as a moderator for this. You need to ask all students in your class, in your course, whether they want to participate in the meeting or not. And if they say yes, then you send them the entire survey result. And then students discuss in a similar way as teachers do in the course analysis meeting. And finally, the moderator reports on the findings, so you get a summary of what are their thoughts. So what you need to do for that is that you need to find suitable students that can serve as moderator, and you need to train them. You need to teach them how to run this. And why would you do that? Well, because then you would get a better understanding of the survey results. Sometimes you read something, just as the simplest thing would be that you read something you don't understand, but maybe a student who wrote that is in the meeting and they can probably explain that for you in a better way. The other thing is that here you will see the student perspective on the outcome of the survey. Then you need to send the full outcome of the survey to all students. So you have to trust your students. Of course, you can tell them that this is confidential. They cannot openly discuss this on Facebook. But still, it takes a bit of trust in your students and maybe also in yourself. And but that will give students, in turn, a better understanding of how to use and fill in a survey, because they will read exactly what you read, and they will understand that maybe that kind of comment, not their own, but some other comment, this is not very useful. Okay, this is just something that you cannot write in a survey, and it would give them again higher motivation to fill in the survey. Then you need to organize this part, and for that you need a guide describing the meeting, how to run it, and what to report, and that's on its way. Actually, I wrote that in Swedish. It's on remiss, how you say. So it will come up soon in this LQ guide, I hope. So I've tested these twice. I have the student representative for the MedTech program that has helped me a lot. I asked her to be here today to present this together, but she is so stressed because she has to write her master thesis. So she said, no, I have no time. But she spent a lot of time on this. So I talked to her. I prepared her for serving as this student LQ moderator. She sent the invitation to all students in the course, and it was stressed that figure was going to be served. That's a major factor for success. So we got around 15 students in a class of 45 that were interested in participating. They got the survey, and then around 10 actually showed up at the time of the meeting. Finally, we got back the summary of what came out of the meeting divided in 4 aspects. What are the strengths of the course as it is running now? What are the weaknesses as the course it is now? And what the student think should be given priority in the next coming course development, and then advices to future students. And then what happened is that if you do this before your meeting with your colleagues, then you can use these students' finding. You get this sublimated student evaluation that can be used in your course evaluation. So let me summarize what I want to convey today. I think that there is a motivation for involving students at the analysis level, and this is at the moment missing in the LQ process. The motivation for that is to get better student input for you, higher motivation for students, and skills in giving feedback. This can be considered as student training in professionalism. They will learn how to give and receive feedback, which is a major point in a professional life, and hopefully will increase the student involvement in course development, which is something that I would expect at least 100 students today at this conference, but we are far below that. I tested this twice, and the guide is on its way. It works okay. And again, as a physicist, I have to tell you this. And I want to thank Rebecca Nilsson Hall, who's the student who helped me the most, and all students who participated in the test meetings, and the LQ group. Thank you.
We have time for some questions, if anyone would have one.
Thanks for a very interesting presentation. I'm wondering what is the difference between this and interviewing the students after the leg or the course?
I think that you could do that as well, but in this case, you let the students talk to each other. There is not this relationship. You're always the teacher of the course, and you interview the students, and the students are talking to you. Here they are talking among each other, and they come up with a student analysis. I think that there is a slight difference. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know actually.
I have an answer, or at least a comment regarding that. It depends on the structure and focus on the interview also. And also, of course, of the format of the LQ. One thing with LQ, which I have been a lot involved in, as you might imagine, is that it actually investigates a number of evidence-based factors that are known to promote deep learning. So it actually can help students to provide feedback that is actually useful to modify and change the course. Sometimes neither students or teachers are well aware of how can we actually take a step in a direction that promotes learning, right? So it depends. But if you have that focus on the interview, it might be about the same.